Bolt your windows. Lock your doors. Check your closets. Look under your bed. And then prepare yourself. For it's another episode of Dark Night of the Podcast.
Greetings, Dark Night of the Podcast listeners. Welcome to a very special episode. Not only is it episode 154, it's also very special because, as you know, Roger has a proclivity for being a world traveler. He likes to travel and see different places with his wonderful partner, Gustavo. And as you know from our last episode, Terror Train, he did mention at the end of that episode that he was going to be away for a couple weeks. And we love you guys so much that we do not want to leave you without an episode for that long of time. So this particular episode, I have a very special guest with me, a guest host. He has been on the podcast before. He actually was on one of our Patreon exclusive episodes. I'm going to plug the Patreon because I just posted 2 really great episodes to our Patreon. So if you want bonus content, check it out, patreon.com/Dark Night of the Podcast. I think right now there's over like 100 episodes up that are exclusively on Patreon. But he also joined us, or joined me when Roger was filming Meat last year for a discussion on the cult classic Tourist Trap. We had a lot of fun with that. If you haven't listened to that episode, go back and check it out. So, I mean, without further ado, I mean, I'm going to give this guest the introduction that he deserves. All right. So here we go. Here's the introduction catered just to this specific guest. Block. Block. It's Bret Laurie.
I was going to say that sounds like someone who definitely is ready for parole to be let out into the real world.
Okay. We don't jump right there. That is the most ridiculous part of this movie, and you're going right into it. Let's put the brakes on a little bit because we got to let the listeners know a little bit about you. I mean, again, you were on the Tourist Trap episode. It's actually one of our, I don't want to give you a big head, but Tourist Trap is actually one of our most listened to episodes.
Oh,
I know. I've never told you that because I knew you would be like, oh, look at me. I'm important now.
Get a little big from my britches.
I know. But so I'm sure a lot of our listeners are familiar with you, but if they're not, why don't you share just a little bit about yourself and what makes you qualified to be a guest on this prestigious podcast?
Well, I'm cute. No. Okay. Let's see. I always have a hard time talking about myself, but I'll give it the old college try. I'm an editor first and foremost. I've been editing for 10 years for an educational publisher. I work on a magazine for art teachers, but on the side, I also use my editing capabilities to edit novels for indie horror authors. A few who have actually been on this podcast. So Brandon Perez Sanchez of Monster Makeup Productions. You can get his book Recessive Nature out now. I'm just plugging that in. Highly recommend it if you love anything with like cryptids or if you're a fan of the show Supernatural. I also edited a fantastic collection of short stories from Chris Archesky.
Mm-hmm.
I should know that. Called The Bad Things We Did. And each story focuses on characters who make terrible decisions and the disastrous consequences that follow. And this year, I'll be working on a few books for my longtime friend, Christopher Robertson, he's authored the Cotton Candy Massacre series, which is super popular on Book Talk. So yeah, I love helping horror authors see their projects through, and I have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, and those are two great, I mean, not only great guys, Brandon Paris Sanchez, he stars, I worked with him last summer when we filmed Hollow Lake. He is in my film Hollow Lake along with Roger, which guys, I promise it's coming out. There'll be news soon. I know it's been a while since I've updated or talked about Hollow Lake, but I promise you, I just watched a cut of it this past weekend, and it is getting so close. And I think it's gonna be worth the wait. We're taking our time with this one because I mean, I think, and I'm not just saying this because I'm being conceited, but I mean, I think we have something special, and we want to take our time with making sure it can be the best that it can be. So there you go. There's a little Hollow Lake update. And yeah, Chris Schamberger, Archesky, I met him when he was Chris Schamberger, but he got married to another Chris. So you have two Chris Archeskys in one house. I don't know how that works, but hey, but yeah, his book, fabulous. Check it out. Check both of them out. He was also a guest. But yeah, you also are. We can't ignore the fact that you're a horror aficionado, and you're constantly finding new horror, seeking out new horror to watch. And every time I bring on a guest, I ask them. It's the guest choice. Ultimately, it's kind of your choice. What film we discuss? I ask you to send me three titles, and I look them over, and I kind of, I gauge, I gauge our listeners and kind of what episodes get listened to, a lot. So that's kind of how I gauge a title that I choose. And so you chose this particular title that we're covering today, and I want you to just give a few sentences to me and our audience why you chose this specific title. It's 1989's Luther the Geek, obscure, but we love going obscure on Dark Night of the podcast. So what is it about this film that made you want to hop on and discuss it with me for an hour and a half, 2 hours, however long this ends up being?
I mean, that the whole tagline is a movie with a foul bites. Like, I already know what I'm getting into. So I was gonna say I think this was in my top three. I think I had a list of like probably more than three, actually. I probably had a list of like 10 movies, but I felt like this was one that I felt was a bit kooky and offbeat. You just used the word obscure. And lately I've been kind of falling down the rabbit hole and watching anything that gets recommended to me as obscure and bonkers, things that don't make like a whole lot of sense, or just movies that have questionable writing or makeup or character choices. Mausoleum was also on that list. Just like movies like that are just so totally like, you're like, what am I even watching? I've been watching a lot of stuff from Jose Ramon. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing his name right. Jose Ramon Larraz, movies like Rest in Pieces, Edge of the Axe. Those are movies that are clearly European, but they're supposed to be set in America, so they have a very weird, kind of oddly charming, offbeat vibe. So I think I chose Luther the Geek because it's just very strange, and that's what I'm drawn to lately.
Yeah, I had seen this before, and when I saw your list, I'm like, okay, yeah, there were a couple of them that really caught my attention, but Luther the Geek, I feel like I ultimately chose this one because I do think it's a title that maybe, possibly deserves a bit more recognition. So discussing it hopefully gets people that have never seen it or never heard of it to give it a watch. It's currently on Tubi, guys. If you've never seen Luther the Geek, which I'm betting a lot of you have not, I would say stop the episode right and give it a watch and then come back and listen. The film is definitely one that I think, yeah, I mean, it's strange. This is a very strange film.
I mean, man clucks like a chicken.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about the premise of this film is about a man who clucks like a chicken who rips people's throats out. That's the premise. But also I was struck at just how like grim and mean-spirited this film is.
It's dark.
Yeah. And I see it's classified like on everywhere, like Wikipedia, IMDb, as a horror comedy. I'm sorry. There's literally, I mean, there's some things that'll make you chuckle, but this film is not comedy at all. That's completely the opposite tone. This film, like you said, is dark. It's mean-spirited. I mean, it's just drenched in just like this sinister tone.
I would say at times it is almost on the cusp of like exploitation too in some parts.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we will get there. So I was glad you chose this. Plus it's, I grew up in the Midwest, and I do remember that this film did take place in the Midwest. I found out a very interesting tidbit of information researching the film for this episode. Brett, I was going to call you Roger, but bear with me. I'll probably do it more than once, but I did not know this. I never knew that this film was literally filmed 45 minutes from my hometown in Davenport, Iowa. This was filmed in Sterling, Illinois, which is a fucking tiny town in the middle of farmland, Illinois, between Davenport and Chicago. And literally, you look it up on IMDb, because I don't know if you've ever done this, but you can look and see what movies have been filmed in specific towns. It'll tell you.
Oh yeah.
This is the only film to be filmed in Sterling. That's how fucking small it is. So I'm like, oh my God, I did not know that. But a little piece of a tidbit. And so it's also kind of like a piece of regional horror, at least for me, because it does take place in Illinois.
I got that vibe watching it too, because I started watching a little bit of regional horror. I'm not like an expert on regional horror, but this felt kind of like a very like low budget regional, like small town, not a lot of actors. It's a very like small contained world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess we can get into discussing the film, because I think there's a lot to say about this. The first thing to acknowledge is that if you're going to watch this, it's a brisk. I mean, it's 80 minutes. It's a pretty short film, and it goes by. I think the pacing of it is pretty strong, minus the last 20 minutes, which we'll talk about here as we get there. But I like the way the film opens, because it is just giving that. I like films that take place, or I like anything dealing with like carnivals, circuses. I love horror films, especially. There's not enough fucking horror films that take place at like circuses or carnivals. And this one starts right away with just circus imagery. Basically, it's almost like a PSA announcement telling us the history of circus performers, people that performed at the circus. And we know traditionally, like, oh, the fat lady, the bearded lady, the strong man. But this proceeds to tell us that the most unique and strangest circus performer of all of them was the geek. And the geek is a man, it says, that was so down on his luck that he'd do anything for a drink, Brett, including getting up in front of an audience and biting the head off a live chicken, Ozzy Osbourne style, and drinking its blood.
So for starters, I was like, is this a real thing? So I actually did like a bunch of research, and yeah, this is a thing.
It is. This is the word geek is derived from this. Like it is real.
And I was on some general pages, like, you know, the Wikipedia, and it was like, they were saying like it was a matter of pride among circus and carnival professionals not to have traveled with a troupe that included geeks. So like it's very weird, kind of.
Yeah, I can see why. Because if they are like, and what's really funny is like they portray them like, okay, well, so the thing tells us, oh, it's just like a down on his man, or a down on his luck man that just wants a drink. The geeks portrayed in this film are fucking horrific. They're monstrous. Like, and I love the film that opens with like a Frankenstein style, with all the town folk holding these torches, going into. What are they?
Yeah, why do they? So I already have so many questions. Like, okay, the torches because it's dark outside? Question mark. But it makes it look like they're an angry mob, but they're literally just there for a sideshow performance.
Yeah, it's real weird. Like they're like screaming at him, geek, and I thought they were like going in to kill him. Like I thought, oh, they're going to kill this man because he killed a child, like Frankenstein or something. But no,
I mean that's what it looks like.
They just want to see him bite the head off a chicken, and one of the guys in the group gives him a live chicken. All this time, there's a little boy there who is like trying his hardest to see over these guys. And these guys are like drinking beer, and like he's like hanging on this one guy. And this one guy has none of it, because he shoves this little boy, and this little boy slams face first into a barrel, like knocking all of his teeth out. Like he spits his teeth out in his hand.
Yeah, he loses some teeth and bites his lip, and there's this moment where he's like tasting the blood and like looking at the blood, and he's like, huh. And then I'll let you narrate, but I was going to say, like, there's this moment where he like looks up at the geek, and there's this like strange kind of connection or moment between them. This is after all the other. This is like after the mob leaves. They just like leave this boy there like on the grass. But yeah, there's this strange like familiarity or recognition. Like, you are geek too.
I know. Did this geek not remind you of Gary Busey, the one that's behind the cage? It looks like Gary Busey, and like I'm saying, like these are supposed to be just like normal men that just do this to get a drink, but this man is clearly off his fucking rocker. Like,
I feel like he never showed like we don't get a lot of the man like the original geek like we because the whole movie follows Luther, but like this guy, yeah, he's very odd and like you have to be to bite a chicken's head off. Yeah, we don't really see too much of him to get an idea of like what geeks are like.
yeah, like what's their day-to-day life like? He's in a cage in a barn. Like that's I guess I would be pissed off too, but like yeah, so Luther, little Luther. Okay, so we find out that this little boy is Luther, and he actually tastes some of the blood from the ripped off chicken head, because this geek does rip the head off of this chicken in front of the crowd, and then they all act like they're disgusted. Well, that's what you've been chanting. You wanted him to, I'm like, oh my God.
That's what they wanted, and then they're like, ew.
Yeah, and they take off. So every episode, me and Roger always talk about like, oh, we're gonna remake this movie and cast Roger in specific roles. Right now, this is Roger's
I already know what you're gonna say.
What am I gonna say?
Luther, you little turd! I'm gonna beat you bloody.
Yeah, that is Roger's. This is his role. Roger, if you're listening, this is your role. We got it. When we do the remake to Luther the Geek, you're gonna put on some. What is she even supposed to be?
She's like she looks like she works at the carnival. Maybe she's like the head madame or something. I don't know. She's like, I have in my notes, Roger needs to play her in the remake.
Yeah.
Like,
yes, absolutely.
Why not more of this woman? Maybe she abused him, contributed to his, whatever's going on with him. Who knows?
Yes. Well, we find out it's Luther. Now we cut to 30 years later, present day Illinois, and we get more of the PSA, which like, Luther is the story of a different kind of geek. And on the screen, Brett, we are seeing horrific things. We are seeing this man sharpen these metal teeth.
Metal fucking teeth.
But we are also seeing his arrest record and the fact that he has murdered like dozens of people. This leads into the most okay, when you watch the film, like maybe this particular scene doesn't hit as well as the film goes on, but we are at a parole hearing.
The worst parole board in the world.
Is this how parole's handled? I thought parole was handled like the defendant like has to
be there,
meet the parole. Yeah, this is just like they're in a room, they're in a conference room, like, oh, we're talking about we're just seeing who we grant parole. Well, we get this woman. She is very adamant that Luther be paroled because he has been a model prisoner. Keep in mind, we just saw him sharpening metal teeth. We saw his rap record.
So where is he sharpening these teeth? Where are the guards? Do they not hear him? Do they not hear him sharpening? Where did he get something to sharp? I have so many questions already.
I think that this is the most nonsensical part of the film because this broad is just adamant that he's been a model prisoner, and she even has that younger guy to agree with her. He's like, yeah, he has been a model prisoner. We need to parole him. Well, then there's that old curmudgeon guy. This would be me. It's like, fuck. What's he say? He's like, fuck you, you uptight bitch. He's like, he's a murderer. How can you even think about paroling him? Think about his family. And he is just.
He calls her a bleeding heart bitch. Yeah. And like, I want to point out for a second, she has a very like distinct appearance too. She has like a giant updo looking like one of like the founding fathers. I actually have in my notes too that everybody who votes, not that I'm jumping ahead, but everybody who votes for Luther's parole is wearing gray. I thought that was a kind of interesting. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but like the guy's wearing gray, she's wearing gray. And then the other two who don't want Luther paroled are wearing black. So I was like, color coding.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. It gets a little heated for a second, and then they do the vote, and miraculously, the vote is 3-2 for Luther, the model prisoner, to be paroled.
How though?
Very next.
The man speaks in chicken squawks and has crazy eyes.
What the very next scene, he is at that restaurant clucking at the chef and steals his coat and then like takes off to the grocery store. You can tell he has no sense of like not societal norms. He's like bumping into women, like pushing them out, like walking in front of them. He proceeds to go to the egg aisle. We have to stop and acknowledge how much were these fucking eggs? 89 cents a dozen.
I think one was like 87 cents, one was 97 cents. I was like, oh my God, take us back.
Oh, you hear that? All you egg people, they were 89 cents here. He proceeds to open up a carton of eggs, crack them, and like starts eating them. And he's clucking. So my question is this:
what made that lady be like, yeah, he's ready?
Exactly. I'm baffled. I can't imagine that he was acting normal in prison. I mean, then he gets out and he just starts acting like this fucking chicken man. I really wish the film would have axed this whole parole thing. It's an interesting thing, and it's probably done on purpose for us to be pissed off about it. It's like, how could you parole this guy? But like, oh, it's so like non-believable. And the fact that they play it so serious.
In any other movie, there would be like a jail escape or a jailbreak or like.
And I appreciate they didn't do that, but this is not believable. And in a film that seems to be grounded, let's be clear, this film is actually very much grounded in reality. Like there's nothing like fantastical about this film. I mean, this is this film has a sense of realism, and until you get to this part where you're like, how did this man who is clearly crazy get paroled? I don't know how I would have remedied it. I maybe would have just bypassed that and said he served his time, or I hate to go this route either, but like had a moment where we see him like maybe transcend into madness after he gets out. Does that make sense? Like something sets him off. He sees like a chicken get hit by a car. I don't fucking know.
Cause like she even says like Luther wants a second chance. How do you know that? He doesn't talk.
No, he does not talk at all. He clucks like a chicken. So he's literally eating eggs, cracking eggs and eating them in the middle of the grocery store.
Raw eggs.
The manager's like, you got to get out of here. You got to get out of here. So again, I'm assuming this is his first. He hasn't even been paroled for an hour. So he goes outside. He leaves the grocery store. And again, I will say this. I want to stop and acknowledge that Luther, the actor who plays him, just the character itself, is very unsettling.
Oh yeah, he does really great work with his eyes. And just his movements. He definitely studied chickens.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's a great like villain. Like he is intimidating. Like I would be scared shitless of this man.
If I saw this guy at the gas station, I would be like, I'm not getting gas here anymore.
No, I'm definitely leaving the grocery store. So he goes out of the grocery store. He sits on a bench next to this, what is supposed to be an old woman. This is literally like a 30-year-old. They must have grabbed her and be like, hey, do you want to be in a movie? You're supposed to be an old lady. Put this Party City wig on.
A day player and wig, yeah.
This is the most unconvincing old woman I've seen in my entire life. But she's supposed to be an old woman. He sits next to her. She just looks like she's just doing her thing. And then he takes out an egg and he tries to give it to her. And when he hands it to her, she accidentally drops it. And this causes him to freak out. And in broad daylight, at a grocery store, 5 minutes after he's been paroled for being a model citizen, he proceeds to rip this woman's throat out with his teeth.
Maul her right in the parking lot. And the effect is pretty good.
Like, oh my God. Yeah. The throat rips in this film, ace. I mean, for it being 89, and I think that's another really interesting thing about this film is it came out in 89, and I think maybe that's why it kind of came and went without a lot of recognition, or it hasn't even really gained a cult status, is because like think about 89. Think about like the slasher boom in the 80s was like from 80 to about 84, and then it was
like done, yeah.
Yeah, by 89 it was done. There wasn't a lot of horror coming out. So to have something like this, which I would say it's a slasher film. I mean, definitely to come out, I can see why it was maybe overlooked, but like it's such a unique premise. Like seeing this man with 5 minutes into the film ripping this old woman's throat out violently, broad daylight, people around, it definitely sets the tone for the rest of the film.
So I just want to say quickly, I wonder, I don't think, because I was watching like I had the Blu-ray and I was watching like the introduction from the director, Carlton J. Albright. And he was, I have in my notes, he was pissed at Quest Entertainment because the movie never got like a full wide release or something. So maybe when it came out at the time, it didn't hit a lot of theaters or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, again, a movie like this coming out in '89, I can see it not making a lot of waves. People by that time were like over this whole, you know, killer slasher thing. But I do think that this is a very unique kind of take on the slasher genre. And I will say there's a lot of really unique things about this film. Like, it does not play by the slasher conventions that we're used to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I remember mentioning to you something. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, no, it definitely doesn't follow a typical like five teenagers running from a bed. Like it follows a mother actually. So
Yeah, and just like how things are happening like in broad daylight in front of people. Like Luther is obviously unhinged, but he rips this woman's throat out and he takes off. And what ends up happening is he finds a car that's unlocked, so he gets into the back seat. In the meantime, all these customers come out and see this dead woman lying on the bench. It's chaos. They're like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" Except I will say Hillary, is I guess our lead, Hillary, who is a middle-aged mother. Let's put that out there. You're very much right. She can seem she can seem to give two shits about it. She just wheels her cart right by.
what's happening? And then she just walks away.
I got groceries to put away. I got to get home. So she puts her groceries in her car. I also noticed the bitch did not put her cart back in the cart corral. She leaves it right in the fucking parking lot. I hate
One of
people
those.
like that. Put your goddamn carts back.
I was gonna say, I thought it was interesting that they don't really outright say that she's a mom, but it's kind of inferred because there's a girl in line at the store and she's talking to Hillary and she has a sense that Hillary's bossy and she's like, moms can be a real pain in the ass. And so it kind of like gives away that Hillary is a mother and like, she's just a mom at a store getting groceries. It's a normal day. And I like the setup of him being in the grocery store parking lot, sneaking into her car. I think it's a very real, genuine fear and you mentioned earlier, like this movie is very realistic. There's nothing like fantastical about it. Somebody hiding in the backseat of your car or like under your car so they can like cut your ankles. Very like that. Those are real fears. Yeah, I think the scene could have been made scarier, maybe if it was at nighttime. But yeah, the first half of the movie takes place during the day.
Yeah, again, unique. For this type of film, I'm not used to seeing like kills in broad daylight in front of a public spot for a slasher film. It's just, and again, not only the mother aspect that they're following a mother, there's a lot of little things this film does that is just really, I think, again, unique for the genre. But she drives her car home. She's heading down this beautiful country road. We do get a lot of nice country scenery. There's this point where like Luther he's in the back seat. We know it because we saw it's the car he gets into. And like there's this moment where he's gonna reach up and grab her, but then that cop car comes wailing by and it scares him and he gets back down into the back seat. But she pulls up to this farmhouse, and from this point forward, this is our location. This is like a one location film. We spend the rest of the movie at this location, and it's a good location.
It's a nice looking house and location. Yeah.
Yeah, and it serves the purpose for what it needs to do well. She proceeds to like get her groceries out of her car, take them inside. When she comes out to get the final groceries, she notices that the back door of her car is open, and it doesn't really phase her much. She's just like, oh, and she just shuts it.
This is my strike one for her. This is like her first kind of like, not mistake, but like, yeah, she doesn't really, maybe I don't know, maybe we have to cut her some slack. Like the mind is quick to rationalize certain things, but she doesn't question the car door being open or her chickens freaking out,
Oh yeah, she hears those fucking chests. She also hears these chickens freaking out, and she starts to walk to the barn, but she stops for some reason, and we see that inside the barn, Luther is in there, and grabs one of these chickens, and oh my gosh, we get full witness to him ripping its fucking head off, and it's gory. Like we see the stringy meat from the neck as he's pulling it off. It's like, oh, that poor fucking chicken.
So I actually looked up the gore is courtesy of William Purcell, who did Exorcist 3, and Mike Tristano, who did Evil Dead 2.
Oh.
So there's some good, like, people behind the gore effects.
Yeah, I mean, I will say the special effects, the kills in this film are pretty damn impressive.
Are pretty violent, yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they get really violent. A couple of them really make me like, oh, cringe. Yeah, and it looks great. I mean, it's hard to pull off, a realistic, like, I mean, when you're seeing a guy like really rip into someone's throat and rip the flesh away, that's hard to pull off. But in this film, it looks really, really good.
And the blood looks real. It's not like a weird, like, bright red. It's a dark red, and yeah.
But yeah, so she goes back into the house to put the groceries away. I mean, and we're like 10 minutes into the film. And again, this right here, what happens here, like, caught me by fucking surprise, because generally we would be expecting like, oh, Luther's going to be stalking her. That's what the whole film is going to be. Oh, he's going to be out there in the barn, and she's going to have people come over and he's going to like kill them off one by one. No.
The whole trope of like, who's there? And like, they're just walking around the house slowly for 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yep. No, this motherfucker comes charging out of the barn, charging to the house. She sees him at the last minute, and she shuts the door. She catches his hand, and she's able to like get him out of the doorway, and she locks it. He fucking immediately like breaks the glass, opens the door. She does, I mean, bless her heart, she does try to save herself. Like, she runs to get the gun, but she can't load it fast enough. And like
I commend her for that. She's smart getting the shotgun. She's trying.
I would say, she is I don't have any issues with her character. There's another character coming up that I have a lot of issues with, and you know who I'm talking about. But like, I mean, I think Hillary tries to do everything right. It's just that he's too fucking quick. I mean, she could have gotten that shotgun to go off. He would have been dead, but he gets it from her. And there's this really uncomfortable moment where he punches her and she falls onto the ground, and he takes that shotgun barrel and like literally starts to put it up her skirt. And we see, her legs are spread and he's putting it up there, and she's like pleading, no, no, no. And he's like licking his lips and stuff.
Yeah. So at this point, I was like, so he has a, like, I mean, he's a guy. So does he have like a repressed like sex drive, or like, because I'm like, what's going to happen? Is it going to go into like rapey territory? I was kind of waiting for that. Like, is it going to happen? And yeah, he lifts her skirt with a gun, and you don't know where it's going, but yeah, it starts to get very dark pretty fast.
But then, I mean, let's just get this out there. He wasn't going to rape her. He was literally going to shoot her in the vagina. He pulls the trigger, but the gun jams. I mean, think about that. He was going to shoot this woman in the vagina. I cannot think of a worse death. But yeah, luckily the gun jams, and she takes the opportunity again. She kicks him in the nuts. However, I guess this is the moment where it's the old Scream cliche. The blonde should be running out the front door, but she runs upstairs, right? Because that's exactly what this broad does.
Yeah, I have manners. I'd have ran outside or tried to grab the keys and get to the car.
Her ass should have been out that door, and the movie would have ended, but like, whatever. Well, no, because what's her name? Floppy Tits shows up here in a bit. Yeah, so Hillary runs upstairs, and of course he follows her, and this is like the first real inkling we get of him. This man thinks he's a chicken. He is literally clucking, going up the stairs looking for her.
And if it was just like a guy who thinks he's a chicken, to me, that's like so harmless. But it's like, he's actually also like cruel, brutal, calculating. He was clearly like biding his time in jail. Yeah.
I mean, again, we have to remind you, at this point, this gentleman's been out of jail for about an hour, and
this is all happened. Maybe 45 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is his first day. He's been planning this. I mean, ultimately, he checks the bedrooms. He finds her in the closet. She's like, please don't hurt me. You don't want me.
Not me.
I mean, I will say this man is fucking brutal. This man is relentless. He literally knees this woman in the head, like hard, knees her in the head and knocks her out. Oh,
He got a smug, like, I got you.
yeah. This man, I will say, his eye acting is absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, so I thought it was funny how he drags her she's like on a little carpet thing. Maybe she was like, you're not dragging me across this. Maybe the actress was like, no, I need something under me.
Possibly. I did notice that too. Yeah. Maybe it's just easy transport for her because the carpet will slide easier. But he flops this woman down on her bed, proceeds to rip shreds from a bed sheet with his teeth, long shreds of straps, because he proceeds to then tie her limbs. She's face down on the bed. He proceeds to start tying her limbs to the bedposts.
This was the part where I was like, oh, she's face down, tied up. And once again, I didn't know if it was going into certain. And I'm like, is he just restraining her so that he can come back and kill her later? Like, what's his end game with tying her up?
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Like some of his
Choices.
like decisions, choices. I'm questioning like what his motivation, what his end game was. Like, yeah, why tie her up? Why not just kill her right away? Because again, I don't ever get any like sexual. Like, I don't think he wanted to rape her or anything. I don't know. It's really, I don't know. But as he's doing this, we hear a motorcycle pull up. And he looks out the window and we see that it is a young college age girl who we find out is Beth, who is obviously Hillary's daughter, and her boyfriend, who I'm assuming is also supposed to be college aged, but
who looks 55.
Yes. Rob. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I will say this. I don't know if you've ever seen Wrong Turn 4. Okay. Have you seen Wrong Turn 4?
No, I've seen the first couple though.
Okay. I've always said, like, when anybody ever like mentions stupid characters in horror films, I have always said Wrong Turn 4 has the stupidest characters in horror history, period. I won't say why, I won't spoil it for you, but those of you who've seen it, those of you who've seen it know exactly who I'm talking about and why. I'm going to tell you, Brett, watching this again, I think Beth is up there for stupidest horror character of all time for me.
Maybe like top 3, because I actually rewatched Motel Hell recently after listening to that episode.
Oh, that stupid blonde Terry or whatever.
Terry is probably like number 1, and then maybe Beth is number 2 or 3.
And we're going to get to why I'm saying this, but like the very first, the very first, right away, she's doing stupid shit because they go into the house. I'm sorry. She finds that the glass to the door has been obviously punched and broken, and glass is all over the floor. What is her response?
That's strange. My mom probably forgot her keys. She's always forgetting something since my dad died.
And like, you're right. Like, already she's like dismissing stuff, and like, okay, if your mom then where's your mom? Like, she doesn't give a shit she doesn't give a shit about the mom the whole movie. She loves Rob.
Oh my God. I'm glad this girl, yeah, she leaves her mom to die several times. But no, yeah. Who thinks that? Like, who thinks it's okay? I'm walking into my farmhouse. My mom's car's here. She's nowhere to be seen.
There's like a sign of a struggle
Yeah.
in the kitchen. And she's just like,
That's strange. Anyways,
I'm thirsty. Rob, you want something to drink? So Rob is this doofus fucker. He gets like ready. Yeah, he gets Ready Whip out of the refrigerator and proceeds to he sprays her big floppy titties with a Ready Whip. He's like, oh, you want a banana split? She's like, I'm on a diet. He's like, all right, spray. And then she gets all mad because she's like, I have to take a shower.
wait, now I need a shower.
she's all pouty, and she's like, and he's like, I'll be right up, so you know where it's going.
In the meantime, Luther's up there finishing tying poor Hillary to the bed, and he hears Beth come up the stairs, so he's clucking away, and he shuts the door the bedroom door and locks it just in time so she can't check on her mother. Again, she's not really calling for, like, she's like, Mom, oh, like she does. Nothing is registering with her that something could be wrong, even though, where's your mom? Broken glass, somebody broke in, whatever. She proceeds to, of course, get naked and get in the shower. And you know what? Maybe Luther does maybe have a little bit of a sex drive, because he does come out of the bedroom clucking and goes into the bathroom and like watches her.
He sniffs her bra too. Yeah.
He does. And I don't know how she doesn't hear him, because he is literally in the bathroom clucking at her. When he hears Rob start to come up the stairs. So he hides in the closet. And we get we get boobs, we get Rob's butt, we get some sex in the shower.
There's some nice like playfulness between them. I think they have like okay chemistry. Like she spits water at him, he scrunches up his face. He like turns around and lets her like wash him. It's like, and then she like basically shoves the bar of soap up his butt.
Okay, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, I like when she shoves the bar soap up his butt. She's like, wash your make sure you wash behind your ears. And she goes, but here's the thing. They do not know where the mother is.
Yeah.
Your mother could walk in any minute.
You want to know something else? I'm pretty sure that the mother's tied up in Beth's room, because that room is the room that has all of Beth's like sports medals, and like this room to me seems like it's Hillary's room. So I'm almost 100% certain that they're using her mom's room to like.
But I'm just saying, like, these two could care less that the mother could be right down, and she might be down in the basement doing laundry. Like, you don't know where she's at, and you're literally like, you've been home for 30 seconds. You're fucking your boyfriend in the shower. It's crazy. Yes, I think you're right, because I did notice that in the room that is Hillary's tied up in, I do think that's Beth's room, because there is a University of Iowa pennant on the wall that I noticed. And I'm assuming that's supposed to be the college that Beth is going to, because she comes, oh, I'm a college. And I went to University of Iowa, so I noticed it. I'm like, oh my God, look at that.
She tries to go to that room first. So I'm like, maybe she's trying to go to her own room first. And so she notices the door's locked. So she's like, okay, I guess I'll use the shower in my mom's room. I don't know.
Yeah, it's so weird. But yeah, me seeing the University of Iowa pennant is what prompted me to like, oh, I wonder where this was filmed. And that's how I found out. But like, yeah, so she gets out of the shower. There's this moment where she opens the closet and we know that Luther's in there. And before she finds him, Rob goes up behind her and grabs her.
Jump scare.
Jump scare. They proceed to get on the bed, which again, you're very right. It's probably Hillary's bed. And fuck,
Her mother's bed.
Again, the mother could be around the whole time, and they're fucking on her bed.
And the door is wide open.
The door is what they're not even trying to. What kind of? I mean, how was this girl raised? You know, I'm just flabbergasted at the audacity of like fucking your boyfriend in broad daylight in your mother's bedroom.
The door open.
With the door wide open, her car's there. You think she's home? Like, I'm just like, wow.
It's no big deal.
Ugh. But while they're fucking, Rob hears his motorcycle start, and he looks out the window while he's like, "Oh, my motorcycle."
And she's like, oh no, leave it. No, finish it. Wait.
She wants to come, I think. But he's like, no, I got to get my bike. He looks out the window and we see Luther. Okay, so how does Luther knows how to drive a car? B, he knows how to drive a motorcycle. How?
After being in prison for 25 years.
He's been in prison since he was a teenager. That was very well established. So how does he? I guess it's like Michael Myers. No, it's best not to ask, right?
You're right. Yeah, willing suspension of disbelief or whatever.
But like, he looks out the window and like, I don't know. He sees Luther, so he goes chasing. I mean, we get this chase scene as Luther's riding this motorcycle down a dirt road next to a cornfield with fucking Rob sprinting after him. And then he like the bike crashes, I guess, and Luther falls off, and Rob goes over and like starts like trying to like kick him, and he goes to tend to his bike. Luther gets up and like bashes him right in the head with the helmet, knocking him unconscious, and then proceeds to do the rooster caw at him.
as a sign of I have in my notes that he does the roost rather than a chicken noise. He does a rooster noise. Is like, I'm assuming, a thing of dominance. Like, you're the man here, and I don't know. Anyways, Rob's an idiot for turning his back to him. Like, you never turn your back on the knocked out bad guy.
No, I don't. Yeah, and I guess I can understand. I guess maybe chasing him, but like, get a weapon. Grab one of those guns. Like, you're chasing a man that's stealing your motorcycle. Grab something. Get something out of the farm, but don't just go chasing after him with nothing, because you don't know what's going to transpire, and nothing good transpires from this whole thing. And we get back at the house. We get finally Hillary has woken up, and she is like moaning for help, and Beth hears her and goes into the bedroom and finds her mother tied to the bed. Okay. I'm just so frustrated with this Beth character.
Because this is the moment where she starts to like shut down for the rest of the movie. Yeah. No, so Beth starts to untie the knots, but then oh my God. So Beth is trying to untie the knots, but then they hear Luther, and so the mother's like, put the gag back on me. Put the gag back on me.
Yeah, and so yes, because then she tells Beth to get under the bed, and so Beth has to get under the bed, and Luther comes up into the bedroom. He goes over, and Hillary's still pretending that she's knocked out, and he even like squawks really loudly in her face to like startle her.
I would have jumped.
Yeah, she does not. She does not. Give her credit for that. But Beth, meantime, sees that Luther now has Rob's very distinct red riding boots on. And, Luther leaves the room, and the phone rings. There was a phone this whole fucking time. There's a phone this whole fucking time. It rings, and he gets pissed off, and he like throws the phone across the room, smashing it. He grabs Hillary's purse and dumps it out to get her car keys. And he grabs that fucking shotgun. And on his way out, we see that there's another phone that he smashes. And he gets back into the car. He gets into Hillary's car, miraculously knowing how to drive back to where Rob is laying unconscious.
He's like conveniently smart at times. Like, destroying the phones was very smart. Like, and yeah, once again, like, how does he know how to drive? It's very, I have like that. He's very like, there are points where he's super like animalistic, and then there's points where he's super resourceful and skilled and knows how to do certain things as if he's been out and about for years. So it's like he changes behaviors at times for the convenience of the plot.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, so you get this moment with Rob hearing the car coming, and I don't know why he automatically assumes like it's danger, but he does. He starts like crawling and trying to get away until he comes to that fucking hunter out in the middle of this field with a deer just hanging on a tree. And this hunter immediately shoots at him. All he does is like, "Hey, mister," and the hunter's like shooting at him. And it causes Rob to fall over. And of course, Luther's right there, kicks him in the head, knocks him out. And this poor hunter, just trying to fucking provide food for his family, he's like, "Oh, I didn't mean to. He startled me." And Luther like fucking attacks him, throws him on the ground, gets on top of him. And we get another very, very gory, well done fucking throat rip. There's that moment where he rips just the chunk out and spits it out. It's like, oh.
So I feel like this hunter character in this whole scenario wasn't necessarily needed. It's almost like they needed an extra kill between the supermarket granny and like whoever's next. So I don't know. I feel like it was just kind of an extra character. They could have like, I think Beth mentions like there's a farmhand that we never see.
Yeah.
So like they could have like used him or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this man is totally here for an extra
For a kill.
Yeah. I mean, because there's no way. It's just, like, it's weird that he would be out hunting, like so close to her, like cornfield
Near the farm.
Yeah. So I mean, again, it's just pure body count fodder, but I'll take it because it looks good. I mean, there's that moment where Luther pulls back and he realizes that his teeth are still stuck in the man's neck.
Is that why he hollers like he's in pain?
Yes.
Because at first I was like, I was going to ask how you interpreted it, because at first I was like, he looks very like exhausted and withered. And I'm like, is he realizing how fucked up he is? Or like, I don't think he has a conscience. But like, it's the only moment of like, we don't have a lot of moments of like depth with this character. Like, to see whether or not he has like remorse or regret or he has any kind of like human. You get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I thought it was just a moment where he's pissed off because he lost his teeth. I mean, these teeth are very like special to him, and he for a moment he realizes that they're out of his mouth, because then you notice like when he puts them back in, he has this like huge sense of relief and calmness comes over him. So I think that's kind of why he was irritated. He was like, "Oh my God, my teeth are!" But then, oh, there they are. He picks them, and we see him right pick them out of the guy's neck and put them back in, and he's all like, "Oh, okay." He's all calm again.
Well, that's a good point. Like, what if he didn't have his teeth? That's like his like not kryptonite. What do you call it? Like that could have like worked. They could have worked that in somehow, like towards the end of the movie, like taking his teeth away or something. But that would have been like really elaborate.
What did they feed this guy in prison?
And why did they? Why were they like, yes, you can keep these sharp metal teeth?
But I'm saying like he's only satiated by like blood and chicken heads. Like, what did they feed him in prison? That's what I want to know. So yeah, back at the house, Hillary finally is able to break one of those strips of sheet from her hand. Beth, catatonic, under the bed.
Under the bed, literally just staring into space. And Hillary is like, Hillary's doing that thing where she's trying to shake her out of it. She's like, Beth, snap out of it.
And finally she does. And this is the moment where she goes hunting for the scissors. Slowly as possible. I mean, it's slow as fucking molasses. There, put some pep in your step, honey. This man just tied your mom to a bed, and she's just slowly going down there, slowly looking for the scissors.
No sense of urgency.
No, zero. And then like she goes into the kitchen and gets that knife, and then she hears him come back because he's like honking the horn. So she runs upstairs, and before she can do anything, she hears like Rob screaming her name. So she looks out the window, and we see that Luther has Rob by gunpoint outside, and he's squawking like a chicken. It's obviously that they want Luther wants her to come down, because we have to realize Luther knows she's there. He doesn't know where she's been. He did follow her into the shower, so he doesn't know. So he's trying to draw her out because he knows she's in there and he wants that control.
Okay, so maybe that's the reason he doesn't kill Rob earlier. Because I'm like, he had chances to kill Rob, like, because he goes back and forth. So I'm like, he could have killed Rob earlier, but I guess, yeah, keeping Rob is kind of like so he can lure Beth out, I guess.
Yes, because this is the moment you realize Beth loves Rob 50 times more than she loves her mom, because she literally like is going to just like dash out of the room and leave her mom tied to the bed, and her mom's like, Beth, you can't leave me like this.
She gives her the knife or whatever, right? She's like, free yourself. I'll be back.
Yeah, she's like, free yourself. I got to go get Rob. I'm like, you were literally going to leave your mother. And even her mother can't believe it. You see the look on her face when she's like, she's like, what the fuck? And so, yeah. So she gives Hillary the knife to cut herself free. And she runs downstairs to go outside. She actually goes outside.
What was her plan? Going? She didn't have any, like, she was just like, okay.
This bitch does not have a plan. This is this is a stupid fucking idiot. So yeah, he forces him back inside, and like there's this moment. I do like this moment where Rob is like, "Hey, you speak English? You speak English?" And like Luther's just like giving him those glares and shit. And then my favorite line is like, "Jesus, he looks like a fucking chicken."
I mean, it's true. His movements are really great. He like, there's times where he like cranes his neck or like elongates his neck like a chicken, and like he does a really good job.
No, he's great. I mean, talk about an effective villain, I would say. And I think Luther, the villain, is the sole reason why this film should be more well known. Because he's ruthless. The actor Edward Terry, I believe, is phenomenal. Like menacing. Like you would think this is a performance that I think could have come off as being like cheesy and unintentionally comedic. But I think this actor really nails the menacing.
There are parts of me that like wish we had seen a little bit more early on to like get more of an idea of like how but at the same time, I guess showing certain things like him growing up or him like that would give him a little more humanity, which I get that we're trying not to do.
But here's my question. Are we supposed to, so I guess we are just supposed to buy into the idea that Luther is the way he is because of that one experience he had as a child with the geek, where he was knocked into a barrel, knocked his teeth out, and then saw the geek, and so now that turned him into this like bloodthirsty chicken-like man.
Yeah, like he likes the taste of his like own blood. So maybe eventually as a teenager he was like, oh, other people probably their blood is probably good too.
Because his mother seemed like she was pretty stern with him. I'm gonna beat your ass. So I don't know. I don't know how he turned out to be the way he is, but yeah. So throughout this whole confrontation with Rob, antagonizing Luther, a fucking cop car pulls up out of nowhere. And Luther grabs Beth, and I do like the moment. This is like the only moment Beth shows any sign of like trying to. She like knocks the gun out of his hand, and he grabs a knife. And I don't know how. Here's the thing: is Luther doesn't talk, so I don't know how she determined what he wanted her to do. Do you know what I mean? I mean, he does grab Rob, hold the knife to his throat, and like back up, but she. This, I don't know.
Maybe that was enough to have like Rob at gunpoint earlier and then like have him again restrained. I don't know. I feel like she just has an idea that like I can't, like he's gonna kill him when I come back in. I don't know.
But okay, a cop. This is a cop with a cop car, with a gun, with the ability to call for backup. This woman, this girl goes to the door to this cop, and I don't know. I strangely find this cop really attractive for some reason.
I have that. I have in my notes. The cop is kind of low key hot ? But anything that comes out of his mouth for the rest of the movie negates that.
Yeah. No, I'm glad I'm not the only one, because I was like, he is kind of fucking hot, and he's wearing those tight, the tight pants, the cop. I'm like, okay.
And I wondered if there was going to be some kind of like because he like ends up coming back later on. I mean, I'm getting ahead, sorry, but like I know if there was going to be an attraction between him and Beth, or
I thought that's where it was going. I mean, I think it would have went there if all this shit wasn't happening, but like, Brett, I can buy a lot of things because it's a movie. I get it. I cannot for the life of me buy that this girl is going to have a cop at her door and not even try to signal that something's wrong. She did not have to start screaming, "Oh my God, thank God you're here. There's a fucking chicken man in there." She could have been
she could have whispered, "He is here." The cop mentions, oh, that there's a maniac on the loose. And she could have literally like even motioned with her eyes or done something.
Exactly. But she is like, "Oh, he's like, I just wanted to come out because your farmhand told me to check on Mrs. Whatever their last name is. I forgot.
Watts or something. Oh, no. Isn't that
Luther Watts, but I can't remember. But whatever. I should check on your mom. Is that your mom? She's like, yeah. He's like, are you okay? You have a phone in there? She's like, yeah. Actually, my boyfriend just broke up with me, so I'm kind of depressed. And he's like, well, yeah, just be on the lookout. I just wanted to make sure everything's okay. Oh, by the way, your car lights are on. And he does mention Luther Watts. And then she's like, who is Luther Watts? And he says, Brett, he says, you got to be extremely careful. He's extremely dangerous. Not according to the fucking parole board, who said he was a model citizen that wanted to be part of society again.
People have the ability to change.
Oh my God, fuck her. That broad, she should have been forced to have her fucking throat ripped out by Luther, because this is all that bitch's fault.
I do have in my notes that I really wish there was some kind of, even if it was just between her and that other guy who hates her, like a scene where they were like, Luther escaped. His blood is on your hands or something, like.
I would have loved that. I was hoping it was going to be a post-credit scene where we see her like just getting like her just like, because it's her fault. Like, this is happening because of you, but he's like, okay, well, have a good night. And he turns to leave, and she does finally open the door. She's like, wait, don't leave. do you want to come in for coffee? And I guess that's her attempt to try to get him back in the house.
So he should have known from how many times that she slipped up that something was off. I don't know.
But I also think that he takes this as her flirting with him.
Maybe.
Because his response is, "I'm on duty, ma'am." And then he looks her up and down. You have to see the look he gives her. He literally looks up her down. He's like, my name's Edwards, Mark Edwards. And he leaves. She fucking lets him leave. Like, she lets him leave. Not only that, I can't forgive that, but like, okay. Then she turns around and goes back in the fucking house. There's a car right there. There's a road right there. Get your little floppy titted ass and start running down that road. Like, this is the dumbest character.
So I know, like, I'm assuming where her head is at, she's like, Rob is gonna die if I don't stay with him or something. I don't know. Like,
bitch, he's already dead.
I mean, but you get what I mean. Like,
but I get it. But like, what did she think was going to happen? Like, what did she sees that this guy's fucking off his rocker. He's clicking like a chicken. She tied her mom to a bed. What does she think his end game is? He's just going to be like, okay, well, I'll let you go. You didn't tell I don't know. I guess I'm looking at it from a perspective of like, I guess a realistic person. And I know this is a movie, but I was so fucking, my mouth was like a gap. How are you going back? And how did you not get this cop to come in with you? Like, but she goes back in and
this is where it all goes to shit.
Let's just get this out here. He wastes no time. The second that she's in that house, he grabs her and starts beating the shit out of her.
It's fucked up, and parts of it are pretty difficult to watch. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he punches her and she's like, I'm sorry, I didn't say anything. And then he like throws, this is violent. When he gets her down on the ground and he kicks her in the stomach and she's like pleading for her mom. She's like, Mom, please help me. And then he's stomping on her.
He didn't tell the cop anything. So like, I don't get what triggered Luther to decide like, okay, now's my time to do this to her.
I'm wondering if he's just toying with her. I mean, he was going to do it anyways. I guess that's my whole point, is he would have killed her either way, whether you brought the cop back in or not. And we find out that Rob is already dead. Rob was killed when she was out there talking to the cop. So Luther's plan all along was to kill them. Like, I think it's just he was seeing if he could get away with like not having her tell a cop, like having that sort of control.
Maybe.
But he beats her, throws her body down. There's this moment where he's like dancing with her as she's like dead, or she's like unconscious. And he's like licking her neck and stuff. But he throws her down, and this is when we see that Rob is dead, and we get a pretty gory reveal. Like, we see that Rob's whole stomach and chest has been just ripped open, and his heart is exposed, and it's like still pumping. So I want to know, did he do this with his mouth, or did he do it with a knife?
Yeah, I wasn't sure what to make of the effects because it's gruesome, but like the mechanics of it are very like weird. Like, his heart is outside of his body and like it's beating, but then it stops as he dies. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But like, yeah, so Luther's signature thing is biting people on the neck. So he took his time with this guy. He mutilated the guy's whole body.
Yeah, I mean, you guys see all the time in the world because Saggy Tits was out there with that cop. So Luther is like, there's this moment where he looks down at the bodies and he's just like smiling. He's admiring his work and he's like licking the blood off his finger. And then he's like, block, block. And he goes upstairs. And I mean, bless Hillary's heart for being able to get free, because she does try to put up a fight, because she comes barreling out of that room. And she pushes him into the other room, smartly locking the door.
Yeah, I mean, good job, Hillary. She locks him in.
Yeah, she locks him in the door. And then she goes downstairs. And she immediately sees like Beth laying there. And I will say, I think this actress is pretty good. Joan Roth is her name, I believe. I don't think she's done a lot, but I think she's pretty good. We didn't even mention who the actress is that plays Beth, because she's probably the most well-known of the bunch, isn't she?
I wanted to mention, yeah, the actress who plays Beth is Stacey Haddock. She's had like a really the actress who plays Beth has had like a really great career. She's been on like The Young and the Restless, Days of Our Lives, Prison Break. She did voice acting for Star Wars video games. So she's done a lot of stuff, and she was actually nominated for a daytime Emmy for stuff. And so I think out of all the actors, she's the one that went on to have like the best, good career.
Oh, by far, yeah. I mean, I think she got like 3 primetime or 3 daytime Emmy nominations. And here's the thing, she's not bad. Like, my disdain for this character has nothing to do with the actress's performance. I
More the
actually think
writing,
she's
probably.
yeah, it's just how do you make a character this dumb? Like, seriously. But at least her mother makes up for it. And then like I also like question like the weird. I just feel like this mother-daughter relationship just seemed very weird. Like I
You
don't.
never get time with them like together, really.
Yeah, and when they are together, I just didn't really feel like there was a lot of like love. Does that make sense? I don't know. I guess I didn't really buy these two as mother-daughter because the daughter really it seems like she could give a shit less about the mother.
Agreed. I was gonna say the only times that they're on screen together are during times of intense like shit is happening. So there's never we don't even see like photos of them together. Like there's plenty of photos of like of Hillary with the husband who passed away. But like there's not a lot of like relationship building between them.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know. I mean, this is a brisk movie, 80 minutes, but I think maybe a few of those moments sprinkled in, but I don't know. Because that whole relationship with her dad and like what happened to him is totally unexplored. Like he just mentioned that he died, and she seems to have a fondness more for her dad than she does her mom because frankly, she kind of treats her mom like shit. I get it. It's a high intensity moment, but like,
And she says to Rob earlier she hasn't seen her mom in 4 months. So yeah.
I know. And honey, if you're at University of Iowa, it's not that far away from where you're at. So yeah, she goes downstairs, she finds Beth dead, and I get another moment of like this confuses me because Beth's laying there. All of a sudden, Beth's like sits straight up like Michael Myers outside the closet, and he's like,
Mommy?
"Yeah, mommy." And then so Beth hugs her mom, and you think, "Oh, she's really alive." No, she all of a sudden coughs up blood,
Lot of blood. Brutal.
and then like falls down and like dies. So I guess I'm inferring here that she died from like internal injuries when he like stomped on her.
I mean, he beat the shit out of her, so yeah, probably.
And of course, this poor mother has a breakdown, and then she gets out and she hears Luther get out of the room, so she or him up there throwing a fucking fit with the chicken squawking, and so she runs out of the house and runs right back into Officer Officer Edwards, actually, who tells her that he came back for the coffee after all. And so she's like, "Oh my God, this maniac's in my house. He killed my daughter, blah, blah, blah." And it's like how mean he is to her.
He's an asshole.
He's really mean.
So she's like she becomes a little hysterical but she just saw her daughter die. And so like, but he tells her to shut up.
He's like, "Shut up and cook it." And okay, I'm sorry. Here's another thing. This whole justice system in this town is fucked because what police officer, after a hysterical woman says there's a man in there that's trying to kill her and killed her daughter, he drags her back inside the house. He forces her to go back in. No, put her in the fucking cop car.
He told Beth earlier that like the cop's aware who this guy is. The cop knows this guy is like a notorious like maniac, and like he gets a little too big for his britches. He could have easily called in for backup.
No, he drags her in the house. She takes him upstairs. They get to the room, and of course, when he opens it, Luther's not there. And we see that he went out the window. The cop's car, his siren starts going off and it's honking. So he looks out and all the doors are open. So he like runs out down to his car. Luther's had time to like rip the radio out of the dash. The car won't start. So when the officer opens the hood, we see that he also like ripped some wires from it. So this officer's not fucking running anymore. He gets that shotgun out of his truck. He asks her he goes back to the house, asks Hillary if she has a telephone. Of course, the telephones have been destroyed. So he gets like, "Get the keys to your car." So she does. They get into her car. Her car won't start. The battery died because the lights in the car were left on. That's when he came to the
Right.
when he came to the house to talk to Beth earlier. It's the first thing he says is your lights are on in your car.
I have that, like, so Hillary does get a little more, she's a little more subdued right now, but like I'm giving her some grace because she did just see Beth die, but like the other guy is, he kind of like takes charge for a while.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the last 20 minutes of the movie is basically his because he takes her back into the house and tells her to get a gun, lock the door, because behind them, Luther has come out of the barn and is clucking and cockadoodling doing at them, trying to lure him. So he goes into the barn with the shotgun, and there is a long, long, long sequence of him going throughout this barn. I want to know how fucking big this barn is. I mean, this barn,
I have that. There's no way this barn is that huge inside. The layout really confused
it
me.
has like 5 floors too. Because like he falls through one, he's climbing up ladder. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, how is this this is from the outside, it looks like a normal barn, and then you get inside and it's a fucking Taj Mahal.
There is a pretty cool shot of Luther up in the rafters, like half shrouded.
Yeah, I do like
So
that.
there are some cool shots.
No, there are cool shots of Luther watching him, like stalking him, like he's always like watching. And what I also like about this scene is that this is a barn that's full of chickens. So not only are you hearing like Luther like cluck and make noises, you have all these chickens that are doing it too. So it's really hard to distinguish like where he's at because you're just hearing all of these clucking noises. So yeah, I mean he's searching. There's that moment he like falls through a trap door. Like he falls through a trap door into another level of the barn. I'm like,
There's a basement in the barn, question mark.
I'd have that too. I was like, I guess he's in the basement now. I don't looking around. He's opening like stalls and shit. And he gives that line, where he's like, all right, chicken man, Colonel Sanders wants to fry your ass.
So they try to make him all like tough guy hero, like Bruce Campbell's Ash. They give him like a couple of one-liners that, like, I don't know, I don't think it was needed. Like they don't really establish him as like I don't know, maybe to him this is his like big hero moment or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I could have done without. I hate cheesy lines like that. So when he says it, it's just like, oh, cringe. And it's just like, yeah, it's so out of character. Like, I just can't believe this cop is going to stop in the middle of searching for this maniacal killer and say that.
Also, we mentioned that like he's the one we're pretty much following now, and like I feel like they could have made him the cop at the beginning outside of the grocery store. You know, the one that finds the old lady. At least that would have made him a little more like present early on.
Yeah, that would have been a nice like time because then he definitely would know like how violent this guy is. So it would amp up his urgency to try to find him.
Like seeing an old lady die or whatever, like would have, I don't know, just giving him a little more to do early on.
Yeah, I mean, because let's say, I mean, this is only an 80-minute film, and I'm going to tell you the last 20 minutes of this film is him searching the barn, basically. And so we're getting a lot of him just walking around. And in the meantime, Hillary's inside and she is loading her guns.
She's doing the right thing. Yeah.
She is doing the right thing. And so back in the barn, Edwards, he's continuing searching and he's like opening all these nooks and crannies, and he goes into one of the rooms and like he opens the door and immediately Luther comes up behind him and like scratches his face and then like takes off, and then he's like taunting him and like throwing chickens at him and stuff.
Oh, we never mentioned, there's a couple of points throughout the movie where Luther like puts, I mean, I feel like they couldn't get, I don't know, there's probably rules in place today about how you can treat animals, but like he like puts chickens' heads in the mouth, and then obviously they'll cut away when he bites the chicken's head off, but like when he puts chickens' heads in his mouth, like live chickens' heads in his mouth, right? Am I right?
I was praying that they were like fake chickens, but they look real.
They don't cut away. They don't cut away until he bites the head.
But then also like he's literally throwing live chickens at this man.
I mean, this was what, 89? I don't know.
I would think there would be some sort of animal protection in place, but
on set, yeah.
Maybe. I mean, this is a low budget Troma film. I mean, it was ultimately released by Troma. It wasn't a Troma, But maybe they don't follow that shit. They're like, oh, who needs that? Like because he's grabbing, these are live chickens. He's hurling them. He's hurling them at this cop. All this cop can do is like shoot. And so Hillary hears the gunshots. I mean, I got to give her credit. She steps it up. I mean, say what you want about her. She raised a fucking moron of a daughter, but at least she is like, you know what? I'm going to go out there. Like she literally takes her shotgun and she heads out to that fucking barn.
She's got some resolve again now, and she's like, okay, it's been way too long. He hasn't come back. And I don't know. Would you have gone into the barn if you were her?
No, my ass would have started right down the fucking road, hauling ass.
That's what happens in a lot of horror movies where but I get that she lives pretty far away, so she would have probably been on a road running for a while. So,
but I also sort of get a sense from her that she's also wants vengeance for Beth. So like she's like, I'm gonna kill this fucker. If the cop can't do it, I will. But she proves to be pretty worthless.
1 minute. 1 minute. She's in the barn for 1 minute.
Literally 1 minute. Chickens are all around, and like one squawks and scares her. So she like shoots the shotgun and then flies back into the wall of the barn. And I don't know if she gets a concussion. What the fuck happens to her?
I think she shoots the gun. She gets surprised by a chicken, and I think like the gun ricochets or something, which forces her back. And yeah, she hits her head on a wooden beam.
Yeah, and I thought she was there for a minute. I thought she was dead, but
oh my god, I would have like walked away. And then like no, like what?
So we go back to Edwards, who hears the gunshot, and so he gets up and he climbs the ladder I mean, again, what the fucking floor they're on in this barn, who the fuck knows?
He's in like a random hallway.
He climbs up there, and once he gets up there, he's immediately attacked by Luther. I mean, and this is a full-fledged brawl. Like this is choreographed pretty damn well for a low budget affair. I mean, they're each getting the best of each other at some point. Luther gets on top of him and is gonna like bite his neck, but then Officer Edwards pokes his eyes and then gets up. Luther kicks him against that fucking post and punches him, but then he throws Luther over his shoulder, punches him in the face a couple times. And I thought, because I forgot that this officer dies. I was like, oh yeah, because I think that because the movie has now focused so much on him, I thought like he was gonna live.
Yeah, because he's shown it. He's supposed to. I feel like he's introduced as the one who steps up and is like he's gonna take care of things. And yeah,
I mean, he makes a very stupid mistake that leads to his very painful demise that I really felt bad about, because I mean, I get this officer's a dick. Let's be honest. He's a dick, but like there is something endearing about him still.
You just want to get into his pants, Troy.
I know, but that's besides the point. I didn't want to, I don't know. I didn't want to see him die. But he does, because we think he has he like punches Luther like 5 fucking times in the face and then pulls his handcuffs to handcuff Luther. And when he goes to put the handcuffs off, he drops his handcuffs. And when he reaches down to get them, Luther proceeds to grab his hand and fucking bite his finger off.
Yeah, Luther does exactly what he did with Rob earlier, where he like plays dead or like pretends to be knocked out. And so, yeah, Luther gets the upper hand that way. And by upper hand, we mean the cop's finger.
I mean, we see it. He rips it off and spits it out. And of course, the cop falls back and is in fucking pain. And I mean, Luther wastes no time pouncing on him. And we proceed to get this looks painful. I feel so bad for this cop because I think the actor is selling the shit out of it.
This is one of the more violent ones.
Yeah, I mean, Luther is just ripping his throat out, and we're seeing blood squirting out of the wound and out of the officer's mouth. He's spitting up blood, and he seems to take a long time to die. So it kind of seems like realistic, like this is how you would probably go.
So I have that the actor does a really great job, like going slack and giving a vacant look, like his body just kind of gives out and gives up after a while.
And we see him struggling to breathe and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is really not.
He gives a really good naked stare.
Yeah. And I felt bad because, maybe I wanted it in his pants and now I can't. But whatever. Okay, so it's the morning.
Yeah, like how many hours have passed?
Well, my question was like, he didn't, I guess this barn is the size of the fucking White House because he did not see that Hillary was there. But like,
Yeah, shouldn't Luther have found her by now?
you
I'm
would
just
think why wasn't he looking for her? Why didn't he go? If he went upstairs to try to find her, I don't know. He should be looking for her. But she's still sitting there on the barn floor up against the wall. I thought she was dead. She looks dead. I'm like, oh shit, she's dead. But he comes in with that fucking bag, that burlap sack, and is like throwing chickens into the bag. I guess he's taking them for like meals for later. Is he meal?
not only that, but like he comes in with like clean clothes. Did he like go back into the house and take her husband's clothes?
He has that really nice button-up shirt. I'm like, yeah, where did you get this? You're looking kind of stylish there, Luther. I guess. I don't know. But like, he's literally meal prepping. He's like throwing chickens into a bag.
Oh, he's piling them in. Yeah, he's getting his keep.
But then we see that Hillary is not dead because she sees him. And we see her eyes get wide and she kind of starts to kind of try to move as much as she can. And he notices her.
And he goes rigid. He like his neck goes up a little bit, just like a chicken's. He's like, huh?
Oh my God. I know this man's chicken performance. If there were, come on.
There was an award for chicken acting.
Best performance as a chicken. Edward Terry. But yeah, he sees her and like he goes over to her and I'm like, oh, because I don't know, she's acting like she's paralyzed.
She's a little catatonic. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I was trying to find, is she paralyzed or what's going on? And because he goes to grab her, like he's gonna like finally kill her because he's like, oh bitch, I got you now. And what does she do?
She squawks, and then he gives out an inquisitive cluck. He's like, huh? And so the final battle in this movie between the final girl and the bad guy is a full on cluck out.
And she starts like scratching the hay.
She's doing her best impersonation of a chicken.
She blah, scratching the hay, blah, and he's like blah, blah, blah. It's almost like they're trying to like romance each other. It's almost like a mating call.
And he's into it. He's looking all proud, chest puffed out. He's like, yeah, this is how it should be.
But he gets up and he is like super excited. He starts a whole chicken dance. He is clucking. He's flapping his arms. He is super fucking excited that he now has a female chicken companion, and she's like, whack, 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 like playing right on into it.
And he's not killing her, so she's like, okay, I guess I'm doing something right. And you do think after a while, I'm like, is she losing it? Like, but then drum roll.
I love this part actually. Just the sound design is just, I love it because he is just proud. He's clucking away. He's flapping his arms like he's a chicken, and all of a sudden you hear that the cock of a gun, and he stops. And he's like, oh shit. And he doesn't say anything because he doesn't talk, but like he turns around and like there's no like hesitation. She shoots him like right through the chest right then. And he falls back. You know, he's laying there and he like sees the wound in his chest and he puts some of the blood on his finger and tastes it.
Full circle moment.
I know. And then I love she laughs, but then she's like blocking at him. She's like, block.
And once again, I was like, I didn't know if she was like, there's this moment of her like releasing these sounds. And you think it's this moment maybe of her like, I'm like, is it relief, catharsis? But then she's squawking at the corpse again. And then like, she's simultaneously balking and crying. And I was like, this is a very like A24 like moment, you know, like the characters at the end, they just like lose their shit.
And yeah, I mean, he when he falls back dead, and then she, of course, like just starts like screaming and just like having a mental breakdown. And unfortunately, we really don't know what her fate,
or not her.
Well, no, I would say her fate. Like, did she really fucking lose it? Is she gonna run around like a chicken now? Because the film ends right there. I mean, it's over. I mean, I'm fine with that because we've seen this ending with many horror films where, you know, the character's sanity is left up in the air. But I'm wondering, what happened to poor Hillary. Do you think she really fucking lost it, or was she just doing like she taunting him? You know,
did she become the next geek, or like I don't know, did she become a chicken woman? maybe she clucks from now on and doesn't do anything else. I don't know.
I mean, but I just love, like I said, I don't see this film as a horror comedy, and I love the whole like showdown between them two clucking because it's played very seriously, and the actress again is she's given a good performance, and like I don't know, it's just odd, but like it works, and
Agreed. I wouldn't say that it's comedy is not the right word because I would say it's more absurd.
absurdity.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And, and again, you mentioned it earlier, but how interesting is it that the final girl in this film is a middle-aged mother?
Doesn't happen a lot. Yeah, usually in like a slasher, it's a group of five, like 5 or 6 teens or something, and I was just I remember the first time seeing this. The first time I saw this, actually, it wasn't like in preparation for this. It was actually like, I think it was like a few months back. It was like 5 months back or something. But I watched it and I remember being so shocked that they killed Beth. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, they kill like her daughter. Oh, that's ballsy. Or not ballsy, but you know what I mean.
I the same the first time I saw this too, all those years ago, I was shocked that Beth dies too, because you really think Beth is going to be, she's our stereotypical final girl. But yeah, no, the final girl ends up being Hillary.
It could have gone in a lot of directions, like mother and daughter working together or something, but I can't picture Beth working with Hillary or doing anything productive.
No. Beth, worthless character. But I mean, I guess it's one of those things that adds to the film's absurdity, because there's a whole pile of them that make this film absurd. The fact that this man would be paroled, the fact that I just over and over again, all these weird things that just make this a very odd viewing. But I'm gonna say, like, I find this film very intriguing. I there's something about it that just it kind of resonates with me, and I think it's the performance of the villain. It's so unique. It's kind of a refreshing take on the slasher genre and all the tropes that we're usually accustomed to. This one does everything differently, and just to have this very unique villain. And again, when you say it, like if you tell somebody, "Oh, I'm watching a film about a guy who runs around clucking and acting like a chicken," and he rips people are gonna be like, "That sounds fucking stupid." And I guess some people could argue that it is, but I think in this film, there's just something, what's the word I'm looking for? That, I mean, impactful about this film, despite all of its flaws, because there are things that drive me crazy about this film, but like, it just, I don't know. I find this film to be, I will say this, I think this film should probably have way more attention thrown at it than it gets.
Oh, for sure. I was reading a lot of like reviews on like IMDb, and like I feel like there's a lot of people feel like it probably could have had more of a, I don't know, cult. I don't want to say cult classic or cult following, but like if they had like taken more time to like flesh out certain characters more, or I don't know. I mean, 80 minutes is really fast.
It's really fast, especially when 20 of them are, a man searching a barn. I mean, I think that's the thing that makes this film a little bit disjointed for a lot of people, is the real lack of character development.
Yeah, 100%.
And relationships between the characters. So, but again, at the end of the day, I'm going to say I recommend this film highly to anyone. I think that you're not going to ever see anything like it. And I mean, the gore effects, if you're a gore hound, they should definitely appease you. Yes, you're going to get frustrated with some plot elements, but you're also going to be like transfixed by what's transpiring on your screen with this performance of this villain, who is really one of the more unique villains to come out of the 80s, I think.
He does a lot of acting with his eyes and his movements, because I mean, his performance, he can't talk. So he relies solely on movement. And I was reading like fun facts about this film, and like I guess the actress who plays, so Joanne Roth, who plays Hillary, she also like studied chickens for that final like showdown, I guess. So both her and Edward Terry, you could tell they probably like studied. That was their homework, I guess. They had to like study chickens.
Well, they nailed it. It worked. They get an A+ because it's some great chicken performances.
I will say, if you're like already a fan of like trauma flicks, or if you're like a trauma completionist, then yes, definitely give it a watch. I think it's a really unique slasher / like semi-exploitation film. I think I've seen this categorized as an exploitation film, but like I've read other people categorize this as an exploitation film, but like I feel like sometimes it's like right on the cusp.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it's gratuitously exploitative. I mean, I think you're right. There are moments like where you think it's going to go there and they scale it back. But I can see why
Yeah.
people would say that. But and again, let's not let the trauma tag or the trauma name deter you from watching this, because I know a lot of people don't like trauma because of just the quality of the films. This, I will say, does not feel like a trauma film. I mean,
Agreed.
I would say
Yeah.
the production value, the acting, the special effects are miles above what trauma usually delivers. I think this is just something trauma picked up and slapped their name on after it was already made, because it does not feel like a trauma film. So don't let that deter you from watching it.
This is definitely not like Poultrygeist or
No.
like I'm fairly new to trauma stuff, but I've seen like Night Beast. Night Beast is actually a lot of fun. They're like, I don't know. I'm pretty new to watching trauma stuff.
Yeah, I mean, trauma is a mixed bag. There's some trauma stuff I really, really like, and then stuff that's just not my cup of tea. So it's a mixed bag, but this does not feel like a trauma film. But yeah, I mean, I definitely say give this one a watch. It's unique. It's brutal, and yeah, that is Luther the Geek.
That is Luther the Geek.
Luther the Geek. Yeah. But yeah, Luther the Geek, guys, let us know your thoughts on Luther the Geek. If you've seen it, or if you watch it for the first time because of our episode, please then comment and let us know what you think of the film. And I just want to thank, as always, Bret for coming on and chatting this weird fucking movie with me. And before we go, just kind of if you want, you don't have to, but if you let our listeners know, like if they want to kind of connect with you or whatnot, where they can do that at.
Yeah, I've been taking kind of like I don't want to say like social media sabbatical, but I'm mostly on Instagram right now. You can find me at Bretty Machete. So that's BrettyMachette. I don't know why I spelled machete with 2 T's. It works though. And yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Bret Laurie. I wish I could say that I was like open for more like freelance editing right now, but I'm like pretty booked. But yeah, if you wanna reach out and talk to me about horror movies, I'm around.
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty knowledgeable. It's you do try to seek out like obscure stuff to watch and suggest to me, so I always appreciate that. And yeah, I mean, the social media sabbatical, don't I wish?
I think a lot of people are doing that right now just because of the current, stuff.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and here I have said this a couple times here recently to just different people. Like, social media, years ago used to be fun. Like, it was fun. Like, people you would post stuff about it was just fun, and now it's almost become unbearable. And it's really a chore for me to get on it and look at it every day, because I just know it's going to
It's heavy.
toxic and heavy, and it's like that's not what I was on social media for, if that makes sense. Like, I'm there to get away from the daily worries and whatnot, and just look at what my friends are up to, and I don't know, but it's become so like toxic and just if I told Roger, because Roger was thinking about taking a break from some of the social media platforms, I told him, Roger, if it was not for this podcast or my film Hollow Lake, I would get rid of social media altogether. And I know people are like flocking to other like platforms. I don't want to do that. Like,
The energy.
yeah, I don't have the energy. Like, I don't want to keep up with 12 different platforms. Like, I don't know.
I'm like, ugh, I need to create another account on something.
Yeah. I despite, you can judge me all you want, people, but I'm just probably will just stick to Facebook and Instagram, because those are the two that have worked well for me. And, those are the two that seem to have the most reach in terms of what I'm trying to accomplish with social media. And that is solely promoting my projects, the podcast and my film. And that's really the only reason I use social media anymore. So I appreciate people that are taking a break. I think for a lot of people's mental health, if they want their mental health to repair or to feel better, I would say ditch social media, because I do think it's,
Yeah, Brandon, who I mentioned earlier, Brandon Sanchez, he posted something really great the other day that just like we got to get back out into into spaces with each other, like physically seeing people. I know I got really comfortable, especially. I mean, I know we're in 2025 now, but I feel like since 2020, I've been like a goblin.
No, I mean, I think people, yeah, no, I think people got used to being at home and all their conveniences are at their fingertips now. So getting out and actually meeting people definitely has become uh, a rarer thing than it used to be. But I'm just saying, I'm just telling you guys, if it wasn't for podcast, film, like creative stuff, I would not be on social media because I just find it unbearable and it does make me depressed. Like,
No, I totally agree. I definitely I credit social media just for connecting me with so many great like horror fans who like I don't know, it's great. I mean, Brandon's in Providence, which is great. He's really close to me, but like just people like on the other side of the country, even people in other countries. So,
I've met some great people from social media, and I just kind of stick around for that reason. But I get it. So again, got kind of sidetracked here. But hey, guys, again, thank you for tuning in. Our next episode, I'm not sure what it will be, so I can't really announce a title yet. I'm thinking our next episode, Roger will be back. If not, I will definitely find a guest host to fill in for him, and we can talk about another obscure film. But again, thank you so much, Bret. And again, guys, let us know your thoughts on Luther the Geek.